Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Unit 6.2 Notes, Day 1. Today we're going to be talking about solving equations involving square roots. Our learning target today is to be able to solve square root equations involving square roots, or radicals. So, inverse operations. What are they? Do you remember? Not PEMDAS, the inverse. Yeah, inverse operations is SADMAP. Okay? So we know that addition and subtraction cancel each other out, multiplication and division, but then there's that e, okay, which is a exponent. So to cancel out a square root, what we would need to use is an exponent of 2, okay? If we square it, that's going to get rid of a square root, okay? But Mr. Grice, I don't see square roots in SADMAP. Well, actually, it is part of the E right here, okay? That exponent roots are a part of this. So that's where they come into play. Now, if you notice, we've got 2 columns of work, okay? We're going to work on the left side first, okay? So if problems has only one root on the side, if you can tell the difference between example number 1 and example number 5, example number 1 only has one root. So that's what we're going to be starting with. So if a problem has only one root on the side, what we're going to do is we are going to use SADMAP to isolate the root. And then after we isolate the root, we're going to solve. Okay? So let's go ahead and zoom in on that. We're going to use SADMAP to isolate the root and then solve. Now, you must, okay, you must use substitution to check your answer because some answers are extraneous and they don't work. Okay, and you will see that in just a sec. Now, so we have to use SADMAP to isolate the root. That means I want to get the root by itself. So to do that, I need to do inverse operations. So I'm going to subtract the 4 to both sides. And we have x plus 2 equals 3. So now that the root is all by itself, I can cancel it out by taking the square of that. Okay? And I have to do that to both sides. So those cancel, and then I'm left with x plus 2. And 3 squared, what's 3 squared? It's 3 times 3. Yeah, it's 9. And then to get the x by itself, I'm going to subtract 2 to both sides. And we get that x equals 7. Now, I am not 100% sure yet that that's my answer because what we just said is we have to check it. Okay? So I'm going to go with our original problem. Everywhere there was an x, I'm going to plug in a 7. So let's go and check. What's 7 plus 2? Yeah, 9. The square root of 9 is 3. And does 3 plus 4 equal 7? Yes, it does. I'm happy. It works. So now I can come over here and say that my answer is x equals 7. Okay? All right, let's take a look at number 2. So remember, we have to use inverse operations to get the square root by itself. So do I get rid of multiplication or do I get rid of subtraction first? Yeah, I get rid of subtraction. So I add 6 to both sides. And we have -2 equals 2 times the square root of x minus 7. It's not by itself yet, so I'm multiplying. The inverse of multiplication is division. -2 divided by 2 is -1. Okay, and to cancel the square root, I'm going to square both sides. Now, remember that you're doing -1 squared. Do you see how I wrote it in parentheses? Make sure you do the same thing, because if you don't, you could get 2 different answers, okay? Because if you just go, hey, look, it's -1 squared. Okay, -1. Well, remember that it's -1 times -1, and a negative times a negative is a positive, okay? And then the last step would be to add 6 to both sides. Sorry, not add 6 to both sides. What are you doing, Mr. Grice? Add 7. 1 plus 7 is 8. Now, before I go all highlighter crazy, yeah, we have to check it. So we have -8 equals 2x. So there's my 8 minus 7 minus 6. Okay. So underneath 8 minus 7 is 1. The square root of 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2, but then 2 minus 6 is -4. Wait, -8 doesn't equal -4. That's, no. So that means that this is not my answer. My answer is no real solution, okay? So you have to do the check down here to prove that your answer works, because if it doesn't work, then your answer is no real solution, okay? All right, let's go ahead and flip it over. Why? Because we're going in order, guys. We're on number 3. We're not on number 5 or 6 or whatever's on the other side. Okay, so there is my square root. It's kind of hard to miss. So we have to use SADMAP. So I see addition. I'm going to cancel addition with subtraction. We have the 1/3 x minus 2. 14 minus 12 is 2. And I'm not by itself yet. Nope, nope, nope. So I got to get rid of a fraction. To get rid of a fraction, I multiply by the reciprocal, which is 3. So then we have the square root of x minus 2 equaling 2 times 3, which is 6. To cancel the square root, I'm going to square both sides. So we get x minus 2 equals 6 squared. No, it is not 12. Good. 36. And then we add the 2 to both sides. So we get that x equals 38. Okay. And then once we get that, we need to come down here and check it. So I have 1/3 times the square root of 38 minus 2 plus 12 equals 14. 38 minus 2 is 36. What's the square root of 36? You should know it. You should not have to come over here and do it, but it is 6. just to show you. So remember, that's 1/3 times 6. And remember, if you don't know what that is, do 1/3 in parentheses times 6 to get 2. And then I really, really hope you guys can do 2 plus 12 in your head. Yay, it works. So this is my solution. X equals 38. All right, number 4. Same thing. Let's get the square root by itself. We want to isolate it. So to do that, I'm going to cancel subtraction first. 5 plus 1 is 6. It's not by itself yet. I need to divide by -6. 6 divided by 6 is -1. And then to cancel the square root, I need to square both sides. Remember, we already talked about it. -1 squared is 1. And then to get the x by itself, we subtract 8 to both sides. And 1 minus 8 is -7. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and do the check. So we get 5 equals -6 times the square root of -7 plus 8 minus 1. -7 plus 8 is good 1. The square root of 1 is 1. -6 times 1 is -6, but then we get -7. Oh. Wah wah. So that's not our answer. Our answer is good. No real solution. Okay, it's super, super important that you do the check. Now, if you look down here, did you see that there were mixed answers? These aren't even mixed, they're just the answers. Okay, so now if you start to catch a hang of this, you guys can work ahead, but make sure you are checking your work. Now, if a problem has roots on both sides, so this is something new, what you want to do is square root, or I'm sorry, not square root, square both sides, then solve. Now, once again, I want you guys to see you must use substitution to check your answer because some answers are extraneous and they don't work. Okay, so we have to check. All right, so our first step when we are solving this, the 2x plus 1 equals the 3x minus 5, I need to square both sides. And when I do that, the square roots go away. And now I can solve. Okay? I have variables on both sides. I'm going to move the smaller variable. So we have 1 equals x minus 5. Because 3 minus 2 is 1. Yeah, okay. So then we add 5 to both sides, and 1 plus 5 is 6. So we need to check, is 6 our answer? So here's our check. I have the square root of 2x plus 1, and we're going to check, does that equal the square root of 3 times x minus, minus 5. Okay, I'm just going to work on the left side first. 2 times 6 is 12, and 12 plus 1 is 13. That's not a perfect square, so I'm just going to leave it like that. On the right side, 3 times 6 is 18, and 18 minus 5 is 13. So the square root of 13 equals the square root of 13. But remember, that's not my answer. My answer is x equals 6. All right, number 6. Now, if you know right away, like, oh, I got to square both sides, that's going to be the first step. Okay, that's fine. Do it up there. And then we have 1 minus 7x equals 18x plus 26. I have variables on both sides, so I'm going to move the smaller variable. And then we get 1 equals 18 plus 7. Good, 25x. And now solve. So I have to subtract the 26 to both sides. 1 minus 26. And then divide both sides by 25. And we get, good, negative 1 equals x. So is that our final answer? I don't know. We have to check it. Okay, so we have the square root of, sorry about that. Pen was going crazy. 1 minus 7 times negative 1. I'm going to check to see, does that equal the square root of 18 times negative 1 plus 26. Okay, so we're going to plug in negative 1 to both of those, and just like last time, I'm just going to do the left side. So I have 1, negative 7 times negative 8, or negative 1 is positive 7, sorry. And then 1 plus 7 is 8. On the right side, 18 times negative 1 is negative 18. And negative 18 plus 26 is 8. So, woohoo, happy face, we got it right. It's negative 1. That's our answer. Now flip it over. All right, you guys ready? We have square roots on both sides. So I need to square both sides to cancel them. And we get 10 minus x equals negative 5 plus 2x. Okay, variables on both sides. Move the smaller variable. 2 plus 1. Good, 3x. And now we're just solving inverse operation. So I got to add the 5 to both sides to get 15. And then divide both sides by 3. And you get that x equals, good, x equals 5. Okay, now prove it. Well, how do I prove that that's the right answer? By doing the check. Okay, so we have 10 minus x, which is 5. And then on the other side, we have negative 5 plus 2 times x. So the left side is kind of easy. 10 minus 5, well, that's just 5. I'm done. On the other side, we have negative 5 plus 2 times 5 is 10. And then negative 5 plus 10 is 5. So, woohoo! We got it right. X equals 5. Remember, we're doing that check to see, is our answer extraneous? Because if it's extraneous, if they don't work, like that last one we did, number 4, then it's no real solution. Okay, so here we go. We're going to square both sides. We get 2x plus 10 equals x plus 7. We got to subtract the x to both sides. 2x minus x is, yeah, it's just x. X plus 10 equals 7, so we subtract the 10 to both sides, and we get that x equals negative 3. Okay, so now we know what x equals. We have to go ahead and plug it in. So we have 2 times negative 3 plus 10. We're going to check, does that equal negative 3 plus 7? Okay, I'm going to do the left side. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 10 is 4. On the right side, negative 3 plus 7 is 4. So we've got the square root of 4 for both of them. Now if you go, oh, I'm going to go to the next step, 2 equals 2. Yeah, that's fine, you can do that. But we know right here that they equal, and that's our answer. Okay, so x equals negative 3. Okay, are there any questions? No, I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Could you speak a little louder? Any question? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Oh well. Oh, that's right, that's because this is a video. Now, if you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice, signing off. Your homework is Algebra 2, or Algebra 2, of course Algebra 2, but it's 6.2 practice. Okay? Come see us if you have any questions. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice, signing off. Thanks for watching.